Hello and welcome to this episode, which is all about the difference between goals and standards. A lot of managers tend to get quite confused about the difference between goals and standards, especially when their manager or the HR department says that everyone must have a goal. So then they try and set goals for their people when in fact it's far more appropriate to set a specific standard for people. A standard is something that needs to minimum requirements. So minimum requirements need to be met, and that's outlined in the standard. And it requires consistency. It needs to be done again and again, consistently, day in, day out, every time. So you don't set someone a goal for being on time. You set them a standard for maintaining the time that they need to be in at, as an example. And in order for the standard to be set, it's useful to think of set in terms of S for specific, so that it's really clear what the standard is and that it should be written down. That it's explained so people know why the standard exists and what else is going on around that standard for it to need to be there. And that they're trained so they have a procedure and they know how to do it and how to meet that standard. And then when it comes to goals and objectives, that's all about a specific outcome that needs to be delivered by a specific time. And a great way to look at that is the classic SMART objective, which I'm sure many of you have already heard of. I like to see that as being very specific and measurable, but also that A is for achievable and agreed, so that the person agrees to say, yeah, I'm willing to take this on. I believe it's possible to do. And above all, that it's resourced, because it's actually a lack of resources that often gets in the way of people not achieving their standards. And that it's time-bound. Now, interestingly, if you want to write a goal, it's really important to be able to be very specific, but also measurable. And finally, to make sure that it's time-bound. They're the three things that need to be written down. Everything else is a discussion. And therefore, just to chat about it, because trying to write all of the achievable and the resource down as well can get you in a bit of a muddle, and it's better just to make sure that you've got the specific, measurable, and time-bound nature of your objective. And of course, it's important to check in with people along the way so that you are making sure that they're halfway or full way there, rather than finding out at the last minute that they haven't achieved it. So when it comes to setting standards and objectives, stay curious.